Hello, fabulous fans, friends, and superstars of my dear friend Nadiya Shah. I am Yuriria Robles and I welcome you to the predictions for each sign for the month of October 2025. Congratulations to the Libras and Scorpios who will celebrate their birthdays this month. Aries. When the sun passes through the sign of Libra, the essential thing is to welcome autumn, which opens the second half of the year, when the amount of light and darkness is balanced for the second time, although the length of the night will be gradually increasing. It is a natural effort then that requires actions to stabilize existing conditions, seeking justice both literally and figuratively. Let us remember then that the justice that comes from the system, the solar system, has nothing to do with what each of us wants or thinks is right, but rather with achieving a broader perspective. And this is, to be honest, not something easy to perceive, much less understand. It takes time for us to adapt to what the sky indicates, and we only understand the message later. For this reason, it is important to understand the order of the solar system and its movements. This will give us more tools to know what awaits us and, most importantly, how to take advantage of it. The sun's passage through Libra illuminates for you, Aries, the relationship area, forcing you to think about your relationships or partners. You expect them to balance your impatience with restraint and diplomacy. The news is that you yourself must share gracefully, being fair and generous. This is the time of the year when you realize that not everything is about you. Others count too. The sign of Libra is ruled by Venus, and following its movement this month will shed light on what you need to prepare for. From October the 1st to the 7th, Venus is in Virgo and Mercury in Libra, which speaks of an exchange of energy between your thoughts and your desire for diplomacy to make a good impression, to find balance and fairness with your partner or associates. The key is to serve others, listen to them, and truly be willing to be neutral, balancing your desires with those of others, leaving behind a single vision of the self to think about the common good. Venus remains in Virgo and Mercury advances into Scorpio on October the 7th. Mental focus will be stronger as it also reaches Mars, its ruler in this sign. Now, thoughts will be more focused and in harmony with actions. Keep in mind that Mars is your ruling planet and its movements significantly affect your energy and mood. As for Venus in Virgo, it will face an opposition to Saturn, which you will experience as a clash between your professional goals and those of the institution where you work. In these spaces, there are a number of ideas, fantasies, and even emotions that need to be channeled. Maintain a desire to serve and avoid criticism or harsh judgments. This effort will persist until October the 12th. The following day, when Venus advances into Libra, it will strengthen your desire for refinement and elegance, as well as your desire to truly enjoy gentle, loving movements with your partner. This will encourage you to seek new ways to express your inner self and your faith, above all because it will establish a balanced dialogue with Neptune in Aries. Therefore, the idealization of pursuit and adventure must be matched with your efforts to be fair and diplomatic. The full moon on October the 6th is special because it emphasizes a two-way relationship, those we have with our parents due to the opposition between the moon and the sun, and those we establish with our peers because the moon is in Aries is ruled by Mars and the sun in Libra is ruled by Venus. From this perspective, we can now aspire to be clear about who we relate to and why. In mundane terms, does our partner resemble to our mother or to our father? Or our relationships even similar to those our parents had? This lunation is a very important time to see that what others reflect back to us conveys the message of being proactive, not aggressive. The relationship between Venus and Mars at this time will be somewhat complex, and there may be clashes between what you want and what you actually do, especially since the signs where these planets are located propose different methods, one of service and the other of personal focus. These tendencies could only be brought into harmony within you if you stop carefully analyzing what you truly desire and how you organize yourself to achieve it. This is important because Mars will have a harmonious contact with the nodes from October the 17th to the 22nd, which will affect relationships and goals, which must leave behind a very specific vision to conclude everything that is emotionally pending. Returning to Mercury, from the beginning of the month, an internal demand will be established to review what gives you security, the attempts to achieve it, the failed actions, and the order we must follow to satisfy all these requirements, keeping all forms within an agreement that will be difficult to establish and at the same time complex to enforce. On October the 21st at 6:24 a.m. Central Standard Time, we'll have a new moon in Libra, a confrontation with the growing need for security and the original wound that needs to be addressed to move circumstances forward in the coming months. Seek to recognize both your partner's needs and your own needs as a couple to at least gain some clarity, especially in the face of the changes and new ideals that are still unclear. The change is felt. It can't be defined yet, but it will certainly surprise us. On October the 23rd, the Sun enters Scorpio, preceded by Mars and Mercury. On that very day, the Moon, already in its new phase, is also in this sign, making this moment a period of important focus and emotional intensity. Furthermore, it's in supreme harmony with Jupiter in Cancer, Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. What you should know is that it expresses an emotional energy for you that it isn't very pleasing because it either encourages you or stops you. If it's too intense, you can't run away in search of another conquest. However, it's a month to attend the emotions and feelings of others. It's a peculiar time, certainly, of the year, as it will also allow you to recognize with the original wound, the one that occurred when you were most vulnerable. Now you'll have the emotional strength to realize the corresponding lessons, in short, to be able to take the corresponding steps. Take advantage of this day until November the 7th to stabilize your emotions, facing the fear of losing security and moving beyond what's established, even if it hurts. On October the 22nd, Neptune re-enters Pisces for the last time, only at the 29th degree, where it will remain until January the 25th. This signals completion, culmination, and destiny, where the last lesson of the sign is learned before moving on to the next. For 14 years, you have experienced your depth, those where feelings reside that are difficult for you to enter. Thus, you may have experienced the best expression of Neptune in its modern rulership, which brought the frank and open entry into other levels of perception, the ingress into the culture of altered states of consciousness with the advantages and risks this entails, and a reconsideration of your spirituality. It also involves closing emotional processes, understanding the message. Take advantage of the harmony between Jupiter and Saturn, which will help you grow in an orderly manner and mature as well, because emotionally it will encourage you to express feelings in order to feel secure and stable. Uranus and Pluto will continue to present theories, communications, and new reasons to meet and work as a team, which you will achieve if you work to stabilize yourself emotionally. However, Pluto will present us with a conflict on the 23rd, when due to the tension with the Sun in Scorpio, it brings a clash between what you want individually and what the community, groups, and society in general consider important, powerful, or acceptable. On the 29th, when Mercury advances into Sagittarius, it will oppose Uranus in Gemini, which will bring a surprise to relationships and leads us to reconsider new conquests in personal and virtual communication. At that moment, you will feel a profound release from all the intensity that this month will bring. You can do it.